of government.
To provide a condition for individuals to
Okay.
What government?
Okay.
The government that's in existence right now, or the one?
Just government in general.
Well, I said you were shutting
The
down.
government.
For protection only.
The government is
Okay,
supposed to
protection
represent the people that it's representing, in other words, be this.
How about one word? Or maybe three.
Protection.
Protection.
Represent the people, city.
Represent the people.
One protection.
Well, there's no wrong right here. Represent the people.
If you want the one that's representing now, it would be control. That would be the word, I guess.
Any more?
To provide the opportunity for people to achieve the list on the left.
Provide
Peter?
conditions. Provide conditions.
To achieve the ones in the.
Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
There you go. I've heard that somewhere before.
Okay, so there you go. With what Betsy said, if you want one word, pursue.
Yeah.
They pursue all right.
How about anybody else? One more for government? Going once, twice, 3 times. Okay. How about the purpose of the crime law?
To integrate it all together and make it work right.
Yeah, integrate.
I learned that big word from Mark, so I'm sorry, I'm going to use the hell out of it.
Anybody else? Complaints. We're going to focus on the politics.
Yes.
Anybody else?
The crime law.
How about some of our visitors?
I've already said
How are you?
Provide conditions.
Yeah.
Provide a condition.
Crime law would provide the conditions?
Provide a condition. Prosperity.
Okay.
Crime law to take the power of the man's hand to the law.
To lawless man.
So is this what's been happening? I mean, I know the crime law's not there, but do you think people are in general, do you think they're as happy as they can be?
No.
Do you think the government is fulfilling its purpose?
No.
They're fulfilling.
Any ideas why that might be?
Because of
Fulfilling its purpose or fulfilling the purpose that should be there? Okay, because its purpose right now, I'm sure it is fulfilling. Its purpose is to control you.
Okay. So, okay, you think it's control. Why is control effective, by the way, in our society?
Because it's what we allow things to happen to us because we want to be slack and lackadaisical in our efforts. We want to be in the follow mode.
Following mode. So we're followers.
We've been taught since children to follow and do what you're told. And therefore,
So in other words, we have to take responsibility for our actions.
yes.
that's the only way we're going to change things.
That's correct.
So we need to be what?
Leaders.
Self-leaders.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have to have the courage to stand up.
Right. So, let me put the.
Well, we have to realize that we have been dumbed down for the last 90-something years.
That's what I said on my interview with the National. They asked me to sum it up what I said.
Yeah.
I used the phrase question authority. Because that's the only way you're going to be able to ask yourself legitimately, are you doing the right thing? Over on the left side, because there's going to be a picture frame over there.
I'll get that. prosper and live happily.
Speak into the mic, please.
Is to prosper and live happily. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
Um,
No, not now.
The function of government is to provide the conditions that let people fulfill that purpose. The prime law guarantees those conditions by forbidding the use of initiatory force, fraud, or coercion by any person or group against any individual, property, or contract. I forgot my little commas. Great. And this will return us to, the whole purpose of the Prohibitionist Party, by the way, is to depoliticize the United States and the world, remove politics. And the prime law itself is kind of a restatement, actually, of the last part there. No person, group of persons, or government shall initiate force, threat of force, or fraud against any individual, self, property, or contract. Force is morally and legally justified only for protection for those who violate Article 1, and of course no exception shall exist for Articles 1 and 2. Now one of the key words, I think, is initiatory. Does everybody know what initiatory means?
The start of.
Start of? Right. Or taxes? Initiatory? So, anything else you can think of?
Everything is
Everything the government does.
Yes, thank you.
It's an issue for
That
force.
is-
That's how they exist.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the people I've talked to about this, they think it's like impossible to do. Is it possible? What do we need for this to happen? Prime law to go into effect.
To implement the prime law to the Constitution. To be able to.
So how do we do that? We need to add it as an amendment to the Constitution. That's correct.
That's correct.
So who does that?
The only thing is to be the White House, to be in control of the White House, and that will give us the power to amend the Constitution with the prime law.
Okay, I'm looking for one person though, really.
The White House, the president.
President, right, the President of the United States. So what we need to do is get a Prohibitionist Party president in place, and then the prime law can be put into place. And that will return government to what it's supposed to be, which is protection only.
Don't forget the fact that the amendment to the Constitution needs to be ratified by the state legislature as well.
Right. Now, Michael Burns is our expert in terms of the actual dynamics of the law. He knows this stuff well. So, Michael, do you think the best way to go about this is at the state level, or should we go for the whole banana right out the gate?
It's a state level, because you need to elect the representatives to the United States Congress. Yes, the Congress, you need to elect representatives to the state legislature to get it through the state legislature.
Mm-hmm.
So it all comes down to who's in the immediate district.
The Senate and the President needs to be TVP.
Okay.
You also have to fix the electoral voting process, which is at the state level, in order to get a TVP president into office.
Well, we can debate that for ages. I know why the electoral college is there.
Yeah.
Is anybody familiar with the tipping point? What that is?
The what?
Tipping point.
The book.
It's a book,
The
yeah?
tipping point is when it's over 50% saturation, and then it starts the society or whatever it is that's being, the point of issue is saturated or fully understood by over 51% of the media, the population, or whatever you want.
Anybody else? Does it have to be 50%?
With the majority,
The
more
tipping
than
report.
half.
Yeah,
The tipping point is when a new paradigm overcomes inertia and begins to move, gain momentum on its own.
Move the shift, it things shifted to another.
So,